Right, hi guys. Obviously this is the first video I've done like this on my YouTube. So all I'd say to start is bear with me with this content stuff, because believe it or not, I've not done much of this. This is definitely, well yeah, it is. It's the first video that I've actually made like this. I'm doing it all myself as well, so I don't want someone following me around with cameras and stuff like that. I don't want that at all. So I bought a camera myself. I'm going to do it all myself. So it's probably not going to be perfect, but as always, the more I do it, the better I'll get with it. So I'm going to start with a question and answer. So obviously I put some questions on my Instagram. I got loads back and I've picked the best 10. Yeah. On this YouTube channel, I am going to put loads of stuff on. So, obviously I moved to Thailand on Monday. So, my schedule in Thailand's a lot less than what I was doing here. So, I'll have a lot more time to do things like this. So, I'm going to do things like question and answers, a day in the life. I'll just video training sessions. I'll video technical sessions. I want to do things like one of the questions was how to make money in BJJ. That needs a full video on its own, so I'll do that. I want to do something on how to open your own gym from nothing. So not starting with loads of money and a massive investment, but literally starting with nothing or even in debt, and how you can get out of that and make a good life out of it. So there's going to be loads coming up on the channel. So like and subscribe if you want that. I am, like today, I've got 10 questions here to go through. So the first one was my favourite split for lifting. So lifting and training. So I get asked this a lot. So obviously through a year, my weight training changes or my strength conditioning changes depending on if I've got things coming up. So if I'm, say, in training for a competition, my strength conditioning might just be twice a week. So when I do just train twice a week, normally it's one session of lower body and one session of upper body, with some strength work in there, some power work in there, and normally a little bit of conditioning as well, the closer it comes to a match. All year round, if I'm out of, say, competition prep, I train all year anyway, as I believe you should. And when I do that, I lift 4 times a week. So the 2 sessions will stay the same, upper and lower body, and then I do some volume for the two others that I add on. My reasons for adding the volume on is it just helps me feel like I recover a little bit. When I put a bit of volume into my training, it makes my tendons feel a lot better. You'll know if you're grappling quite often, you're probably getting tendonitis. So it helps me quite a bit with my tendonitis when I turn to loading. So yeah, I'll be training 4 times a week, and I fit that in with grappling twice a day. When I'm coming up to a tournament, again, when I'm training all year round, I will change that volume. Literally, for me as a coach as well, training twice a day, every day, and coaching around that as well just becomes too much. So what I normally do is do my strength conditioning every morning, 4 days a week, and then I try and roll every single night, Monday to Friday. And right now, for where I'm at as a coach as well, it's enough for me to still be able to perform at a good level. So number 2, best things to focus on when wrestling guys bigger than yourself. So mate, like, happens a lot for me. So obviously I've been competing at under 99 and I've never seen 99 on the scales. I'm about 90, 94, 95 all year round. So obviously I'm only 5'9" as well, so a lot of people that I grapple tend to be a lot taller. For my style, or like, I prefer this. So if I'm against someone who's bigger than me and we're wrestling specifically, I'm just looking for inside position. And against people that are bigger than me, I normally find it quite easy, or quite achievable to win the inside position. So then obviously I can tie that to snap downs, underhooks, single underhooks, body locks with double underhooks, single legs, double legs, tie it to a rear body lock. So I have a lot of options from there. Secondly to that, I would recommend, if you're against someone who's a lot bigger than you, to use a lot of movement. I always say this to people in the gym because we have quite a heavy gym at Carlson's, but we have quite a lot of good lightweights as well. So I always say to them, when you're on with someone bigger than you, you don't want to go strength for strength. You want to move them, get them moving, and see what things you can find within them little openings you get when you start making them move. So yeah, that would be my advice against someone bigger than yourself. Now, will you be learning Thai when you leave? To start with, no. I'm just going to be far too busy. Literally, I get there Tuesday the 3rd of December and I start coaching on the Thursday night. So from then on for me, like, I'll be doing a private every morning. I'll be doing my strength conditioning straight after. And then I'll be teaching every evening. So that's basically going to be my schedule, Monday to Friday at Bang Tao. So I won't be learning Thai straight away. Obviously I'm going over with my family. My son will be going to private school, he'll be learning Thai over there. So depends on how long we stay. Like, if we do really like it and we do stay, then yeah, maybe I'll dip into it if I feel like I need to. And number 4, due to work, my sparring prep for comp is with a select few. Is that suboptimal? No. Like, mate, you can go a long way training in a small group. I've done it myself. Like, if you have a good group, a good atmosphere, consistent group, which is, like, for me, one of the main things. So you don't have to, like, wonder if they're going to be turning up for training tomorrow. You know everyone's going to be there. You can do a lot with that group, mate. Sometimes I think it's better to have a small group. People you can bounce ideas off. People you can spar with really hard, but you still have that respect for each other. And come the end of the session, you're happy to, because you're so comfortable with each other, you're happy to sit down, discuss certain positions and things you got stuck with and build your own solutions out of that. There's no reason, normally, like, I don't know what your work is, but there's no reason you can't maybe squeeze in one single club visit every month. So that's one club visit every 4 weeks. If you can do that, mate, then honestly, I don't think you need much more. So if you have a nice, strong, consistent, small group of training partners and you're training with each other day in, day out and bouncing ideas off each other, and then you can get out to your gym once a month, feel some different bodies, see some different styles, see what's working really well for you to make you enforce that and keep going with that, and see where, if you are struggling anywhere, see if that can be highlighted, which is always a good thing, because now you can go back to that small group, talk it through with them and come up with a few solutions to that problem. So mate, I wouldn't say that was suboptimal at all. I'd say just make sure you're training as consistent as you can, depending on your work schedule. That's another thing that's really important. Don't think you have to train every day because a pro grappler tells you he does. Most pro grapplers don't even train every day themselves. But don't feel like you have to because they tell you they do. Most pro grapplers either don't work or they run a gym, so they're in a completely different situation. So you train as consistent as you can for your schedule, mate, with a good group. Get out if you can ever manage to get out, feel some different bodies, get back and fix any problems you might have with your team, and you can go a long, long way with that, mate. I've seen it happen. The next one, favourite match that I've ever had. It's tough, that. I'd go straight to Chris Weidman, just because it was exactly the type of match I asked for. Someone who absolutely brings it. We both took each other down, like I've said all along. I'm never in this game saying no one can take me down. I'm all for these scrambly matches where I get a real test and we're both getting thrown all over. It was round the corner from my house, which meant I had a lot of family in the crowd, a lot of friends in the crowd, which always makes it a little bit better. But then on top of that, the Muhammad Ali match for me was really good as well. Just because obviously it was out in Vegas on a massive stage, like the first ever CJI, so it was great to be a part of that. I absolutely loved how there wasn't one single person, when asked, that said I would have a chance of beating Muhammad. And yeah, I can see why. Obviously he's a multiple time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Gi and no Gi, and he's an absolute monster. He's a massive bloke. But obviously, yeah, I knew I could win, and I did. Like, I feel like I broke him, to be fair. I felt him getting tired, and I managed to win that match. And yeah, that's just me all over. Like, I don't really care what people think at all. I'm doing it for me. So whether you want to support me, if you want to support me, thank you. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. As I said in the interview after that, I've been asked, entering the cage soon? Mate, absolutely not. Like, I've had a lot of changes the last 3 years, and a lot of it is because of what I'm doing in grappling. So, like, I love MMA, so this is my struggle. It's like, I can't just train MMA to keep fit and enjoy it. Like, I can't do that with anything. I never have been able to. Like, if I start training with someone, I get addicted to it, and before I know it, I'm out there competing in it. But now I just got to take other things into account, more important things. I'm 33 years old. I have a good career in grappling, but I do really enjoy being a coach as well, and that is where I see myself going. Obviously, I'm going to Bang Tao. I'm going to still keep competing out of Bang Tao, and I'll have some great training partners there to train with. But I'm going as a coach, like, and my priority is coaching, 100%. And I'm really looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to working with some good athletes. I'm looking forward to developing or helping to develop the grappling program there. Luckily for me, obviously Bang Tao know what they're doing, and being the great gym they are, they've basically said to me I can choose how I want to run my program. So now they've given me free rein every night, Monday to Friday. I'm going to be running like a pretty solid program over there at Bang Tao. And I'm going all in with that, mate. So for me, like, if I'm going to list my priorities there, like, outside of family, I'm going number one, I'm a coach. Number two, I'm a grappler. Like, I'll look to compete 2 or 3 times a year in some big matches. If I don't get any big matches, I'm not even bothered about doing it. I'll always be training. I'll be training fucking till I'm done. Because I just thoroughly enjoy that, and I always have. But my priority when I go to Thailand is being a coach. So there's no way I can get into the cage. Obviously, to get into the cage, you got to be super selfish, and that's just not where I am anymore. 7. So the move to Bang Tao, is that a permanent one, and are you excited for it? I'm absolutely buzzing to go. I've been to Thailand twice now. I genuinely think it's the best place I've ever been, for all reasons. The way it is, the way it looks, scenery, the things you can do in your spare time, the weather, the food, the training, how cheap it is, how laid back it is. I absolutely love the place. So obviously places are always a little bit different when you go to live there rather than have a holiday there. But unless something crops up that I really didn't expect, I can't see there being much that I don't like. Obviously in England you have your stresses as well, so I'm expecting these things to pop up over there. But it's not a bad place to deal with them stresses, is it? So it's basically, mate, it's permanent as long as we like it. I'm not tied down to anything. So if anything crops up that we really don't like, we can leave. But that isn't in my plans when I'm first going now. Like, I'm going to kick on a little bit, if such. Like, you're talking 5 years ago, I had nothing at all. I literally had retired as a judo player. I was hitting minus 1,000 in my bank account every single month. Got my first job because I'd just been a full-time athlete all my life. I had no qualifications at all because I left home really early to train judo. So I started hitting a bit of a shit spot, and I remember, for example, applying for an overdraft, an extra £500 in my £1,000 overdraft, and I got rejected that based on my income. I was earning nothing. So to be where I am now, having a full-time gym, 5 years later, and now moving to Thailand, I'm ready to kick it on another level. Like, we've built a fantastic gym in Carlson's, which is still going to be open, and it's still going to be fantastic. I feel like one of my aims when I opened Carlson's was to build a really solid standard throughout, and build a team of independent grapplers that know their games inside out. They know all the systems that we've built inside out. So then, like, a massive thing for me has always been, it's not just me running a gym, me making my own money. It's been me running a gym so we can develop people into being world-class grapplers themselves, so they can go on and have a career as a professional grappler, but also business mind. Like, they can open a gym, they know how to run a gym, they know how to teach classes. Like, you get a lot of world-class athletes that can't coach. I can guarantee a lot of people in my gym, if you put them on the spot and ask them to run a session, they'll be able to do it, because we just drill everything into them. So yeah, the gym's in a super solid place, even though I'm leaving. Obviously, in the 5 years it's been open, we've had 2 catch wrestling world titles, we've had 1 professional MMA fighter signed for Cage Warriors. We've been to ADCC Worlds, CGI, Quintet. We've had 5 people on Polaris, 4 people on Grapplefest. We've just had another athlete, but it's not been announced yet, so I can't say anything, but we've had another athlete actually get a Polaris contract. We have had a purple belt European champion. So, like, we've done so much in 5 years, so I'm not worried about the gym at all. I'm actually excited to see where it goes. So I'm going over to Thailand with the intention of kicking on, going to a new level as a coach, and coming back to the UK 3 times a year to monitor Carlson's, come back, do some training. Obviously, we're staying in touch all the time while I'm in Thailand as well. So we're still working on similar things. So yeah, the only reason I'll be coming back is if something goes wrong and we don't like how it is in Thailand, which hopefully that doesn't happen. Worst injury. So when I was 18 years old, I snapped everything, more or less, in my right knee. So I did an ACL, snapped my ACL, I snapped my MCL completely, and I completely tore my cartilage as well on the outside. So I went for an Uchimata, and the guy basically just sat down and went through the back of my knees. I was in Poland though when that happened, so yeah, I had the surgery. I was quite lucky because I was part of Team GB at the time, so I got straight in for surgery about 2 weeks later once the swelling had gone down, and went through all the rehab, and I think I did my first tournament back about 7.5 months later, which is, now I've learned that that's pretty fast, but I was very lucky. I got signed up with a good physio who was the physio at the time for Team England in freestyle wrestling. So he kind of trained a lot of basic compound movements for me, but then as we started to get more specific, he actually had a real good knowledge about the movements I'd be making in judo, has very similar movements to wrestling. So I feel like that helped me a lot. So yeah, touch wood. It's been what, 17, 18, now I'm 33. It's been about 15, 16 years since I've done that, and I've only had 1 issue, so yeah, great physio, but I've never had another injury like that, thank fuck. Why have you gained so much muscle in your legs? You said hypertrophy is not important for legs. You're making me feel like I need to apologise a bit there, mate. Sorry that my legs have grown, but I don't do hypertrophy in my legs. Like I've said previous in this video, I do legs once a week, but I've lifted weights for 15 years. Well, longer. Started with my first weight session when I was 15, and I'm 33, so I've done it for 18 years. And in me lifting, I've not missed a week. Even when I've been injured, I've trained a different body part. Like, I've lifted for 18 years solid. So I'd be pretty worried if I hadn't built a decent base in my legs, squatting or doing leg work once a week for 18 years. I don't believe you need hypertrophy in your legs for jiu-jitsu at all. Hence why I don't really do any. But the thing is, judo as well is it's a very hip dominant, lower body dominant sport. Like if you look at judo, a lot of the throws are hip throws. You move around with a slight bend in your knees all the time. You always have to be ready to explode. So then your strength and conditioning needs to follow that. So you need to be doing a lot of explosive lifting. So we used to do a lot of Olympic lifting, cleans and snatches. They're all building your legs. And I'm 5'9", so if I was 6'5", maybe they wouldn't be as big. The reason I say you don't need hypertrophy is because I think if you smash hypertrophy, a lot of people don't stretch, so you lose a lot of mobility. I'm not unflexible. As unflexible as I might look, I'm actually not bad. So, yeah, train your legs, mate. Don't do loads of hypertrophy. If they get quite big, rock it, mate. Get some fucking little shorts on. Get yourself some Valley Tudos. Last one. What do you think of 10th Planet? I like 10th Planet, mate. Honestly, I genuinely love 10th Planet stuff. I've not got a bad word to say about it. Like, I don't know how much it crosses over to MMA. I don't know. Like, one of my good mates, Danny Mitchell's hit a couple of twisters, so there's definitely stuff that come over from MMA, from 10th Planet to MMA. There's a lot of guard work though, and you don't see loads of guard work in MMA, so maybe that stuff's not as effective. But mate, I like, if you believe it or not, I don't like it. I play a lot of 10th Planet style stuff from Attacking Turtle. Like, I love truck and going for twisters and linking that to going to the back, and I even link that to wrist rides. So yeah, mate, I've took some good advice in my time from good 10th Planet lads. So Richie Martinez has helped me a lot with my truck. I can't even remember where I met him. I think it was Quintet maybe. We had a good chat about it at Quintet, and I've been back and forth with him on Instagram a few times since and asked him for a few tips in specific scenarios within the truck position, and he's always been happy to help, so I'm all for it, mate. It's all good. I think if you can do a bit of 10th Planet style jiu-jitsu, and you can do some wrestling off the back of that as well, get a decent guard, good wrestling, you're doing pretty well. Yeah. So that's my first video. As I say, no doubt this isn't perfect. I will be doing a lot more. I've got my first camera for the first time ever, so I'm gonna have a play with that and see if I can work some out. Yeah, like, catch me at Bangtown now. So if you wanna get any training in with myself, I'll be running every single grappling session in the evening, Monday to Friday at Bangtown. So you can come out and train with me there. I've got, if you go on my Instagram page, at Owen Lives There, I've got my 2025 seminar tour list on there, where I'll be coming back to the UK for 2 weeks in April and 2 weeks in September to do seminars all over the country, and there's a few in Ireland at the moment. Just got a couple of spaces left on that. So if you want to train me when I come back to the UK, head over to my Instagram and look at my seminar tour list. December, I'll be coming back to Carlson Gracie Hull for the full week, so I want to teach for a full week at Carlson's up till Christmas. So if you want to get some training in with me there for the week, meet me back at Carlson's in December. And then lastly, if you want to train with me online, I have an online academy now. The link is in my YouTube channel and my bio. and it's also in my Instagram link tree, which is in my bio. The online academy's got everything at the minute. I think we've got 1,000+ technical videos, all my seminar content, my training camps, strength and conditioning programs for up to 16 weeks. I'm going to put more on that. We've got WhatsApp groups where you can ask for specific feedback on training footage, competition footage, and I'm going to add a one-to-one training opportunity for 10 people to that from January. So jump on that if you want to get involved. Let me know, guys, how I can make this better in the comments below. Much appreciated. Oos.